Why do we park on driveways, but we drive on parkways? Hello and welcome to another gameplay video. This is going to be a game played by my good friend Asian Pikachu 215, who has a YouTube channel. I will link him in the description below. And he is a Sona main, and he's really good at Sona. And we're just going to be showing his gameplay today. He asked me to commentate for him. Just starting off quickly here, runes and masteries. Hybrid penetration runes with ability power and armor. And then masteries are 12-18-0 with the Thunderlord's Decree as the keystone. And then as far as builds go, this is what he built this game. This is not a full build, but the game ended too early. He has Sightstone, Frost Queen's Claim, Mobility Boots, Lich, Bane, Needlessly Large Rod, and an Amplifying Tome with the Sweeping Trinket. So yeah, as I said, he is a Sona main, and he is really good at Sona. And basically, we're just going to commentate for his gameplay today. So, one of the things he does really well to start off, we'll talk about laning phase for Sona. As probably most of you know, if you played against Sona before, Sona is just a nightmare to lane against. Sona is extremely strong in lane and can bully someone just like a Bane who has a relatively weak laning phase. Bane does not have a great laning phase comparatively to like a Callista or, a Lucian, stuff like that. Vane's laning phase is very weak, so he does a really good job of zoning this Vane off of the CS. As you can see, Vane is already half health, and we just got to level 2. So he does a really good job about zoning this Vane, and basically the idea of zoning is just to deny as many creeps as possible, because as you can see, Callista is already going up in CS by a decent margin, so that allows for Callista to be able to get better items, quicker and get to higher level, and you can push your level advantage. When you're ahead in bot lane, you really want to push a level advantage. So if you hit level 2 before them and they're still level 1, you want to go all in. If you hit level 3 and they're level 2, you want to go all in. Here Callista goes all in and unfortunately gets stunned by the Bard and gets the heal out of Vane, so she wasn't able to Ren because she was stunned. Otherwise it would have killed the Vane for the first blood, which it was a good play by Bard. It was a really good stun by Bard, but it's just unlucky. And moving forward, talking about the hybrid penetration runes, I think it's actually pretty good because it gives her auto attacks a little bit more damage in the other game. So here they finally go in. Bard goes in, but it goes and doesn't have as empowered auto attacks. So Callista's able to flash in and get the first blood, and then actually gets condemned by Vane right as Vane dies, so it's actually to safety. And then Asian Pikachu finishes off that Bard with the Q. So that was really good. So he left me some tips to talk about Sona because I don't know much about Sona. So first off, outside of lane, Sona's really only effective at going all in team fights. And then as far as building Sightstone first, he thinks it's pretty situational. So like in tip number 3, you can build a Frost Queens first if you're up against a weaker lane opponent like a Vane, so you can bully them even harder for more gold. And then bully hard in lane and then zone off the enemy ADC, which he does really well, as you'll see in this gameplay. And then don't forget to use the Ghosts. The new Frost Queen active is so good for slowing down people and catching up to them. And then finally, just build Lich Bane. It's basically her best item, so always build Lich Bane. So Talon comes down for the roam mid because he's level 6. Gets the Callista finishes off that Vane, and then Talon E's to the creep and then kills the Bard, which was really well played by the Talon and Callista there. And of course, Asian Pikachu there he was able to help out and get the 2 assists. So already off to a pretty good start. Just a fair warning, this game is a blowout, so I will, once we get kind of the mid-game and past, laning phase and the really important parts, I'll just be kind of showing the more important clips of the game, because, this Talon gets extremely fed. I think Talon finishes the game with, 18 kills or something stupid like that. So they're just going to contest this dragon. There, I think he probably misclicked or something because he used the Callista ult on the dragon or wasn't expecting it. That's one of the things about playing support with the Callista. Sometimes, you never really know unless she's picking it like crazy or something when Callista wants to go in, and all of a sudden you're just being ulted. So here, beautiful use of the active on the Frost Queens. Does miss the ult, but it's fine because finishes off the Ezreal with I think that was the power corded Q. I'm not quite sure what that was, but a lot of damage came out, plus Thunderlords, which always helps. Here, he actually does a really good job in taking the tower aggro for that Talon, so he's able to get out, for the Callista. and then Talon just goes right back in and kills the Bard. So like I said, yeah, we're going to be jumping forward a bit here. Here is a really, really good gank. Here, we'll just jump forward in a second. There we go. So we're just going to jump forward, and he roams top and gets a double stun with the ult. Look at that. That was so good. That was very well played. And then Nocturne's there, and they just can't contest this whatsoever. They get the Malphite ult and the flash, so that was all of Malphite's mobility, and they get the tower. So that was really impressive play right there. He was able to make a really good roam, and that's one of the things to support. You'll see that he has what is that? Yeah, I believe 7 out of 8 kill participation already. So playing support, you don't want to just kind of stay in lane, especially after they've already gotten that bot tower. You don't want to just kind of just lollygag in lane and follow your AD carry around if your AD carry wants to hold bot and just freeze it or something like that. You want to make plays. Here is a really nice play. Unfortunately, Talon does die to the Ezreal ult, but almost saved, Asian Pikachu almost saved the Talon from that Warwick ult. So yeah, so like I was saying, you really just want to roam around and try to make plays. I would say when you're playing Sona, anytime your ultimate is up, it's such a high impact ult and it's so good at making picks. It's not like a Thresh ult. Like Thresh, like when you play Thresh or you play Blitz, the ult doesn't really matter. That's not that good at making picks. Like it's good, but it's, the Q is more what does it. But because he's playing Sona, anytime that ult is up, you really just want to be looking around to make plays. You want to look around how to make picks and things like that. So that's pretty much the essence of how to keep a lead, right? That's how you don't throw, is you make picks and you snowball even harder. That's one of the best ways to snowball, is look for high impact ults. Same thing works for like a Rengar, stuff like that. So yeah, so after they push mid, they're just going to look around and see where to roam, where to make plays. When you play Sona, you kind of want to speed your team, you want to speed yourself up and your teammates up so that they can make more plays. You definitely want to be healing people even if they're not that low, just so you can grab assists. It's like a Janna, you want to shield people just, right at the end of fights, just so you can grab assists for it to get extra gold. Here, this is really good. It goes on the Ezreal, and look at all that damage. So, I mean, you can just see the potential that can come out of this. Sona's, I think, really strong with the Thunderlord's because it's so easy for Sona herself to pop the Thunderlord's decree. Here they go down and they blow up the Bard, which yeah, he just got deleted, and then unfortunately he does miss the ult onto the Ezreal Rider and Tower. It was like it was just out of range, but pushing down this mid tower and trying to just snowball this lead even more. Because Ezreal, I talked about this in my Victor video, because I was laning against an AP Ezreal mid. Because Ezreal has no wave clear, he has essentially no wave clear. He's not like an Azir or a Victor. It's really easy to just shove him in over and over again because he can't stop the wave. That causes Vayne and Malphite to try and roam mid to stop their push, because Ezreal has only single target abilities to clear the wave, other than his ultimate, of course. But that's essentially who you want to target. Like, if you're up against a Teemo top, you want to shove in that Teemo, because if you're up against someone like a Ryze who has a lot of wave clear, then you can't really just shove him in over and over again. But you can always shove in a Teemo and try and take towers and snowball. There, the Warwick goes in, but it doesn't turn into anything. And then a beautiful ult by Asian Pikachu. Then the Nocturnal, and sorry. And then they get the Malphite ult here in a second. After the exhaust, Malphite has to ult away to safety, and he just barely makes it out. And then Talon actually makes a pretty nice play here. He eased in and then was able to flash the last tower shot, so he didn't die. So skipping ahead again, this is the best play of the game in my opinion, because it shows how to play solo queue, and I'll explain why. At first, he turns around because he doesn't really want to follow the Talon, but instead he actually does follow him, and he goes and helps him make the play. So in solo queue, even if you don't necessarily agree with someone's strategy, like Talon, like originally Asian Pikachu turned around and didn't want to go through the Bard E, he didn't want to go through the Magical Journey, but Talon did anyway. So what he did was he turned around and he followed him to go help his playmaking. And that's a really good mentality in solo queue. Don't always just trust your natural instincts, because someone, shockingly, might be right sometimes. There might be a good play that you can help make, even if you don't feel initially that it's the right play, if that makes sense. So you don't always need to kind of do your own thing, because yes, sometimes there are obvious risks, and yes, people make mistakes in solo queue. I'm not saying that you should always trust your teammates. Beautiful Sona ult, or Kalista ult on with the Sona right there to knock up the Warwick and the Malphite. Really well played right there. But all I'm saying is, you don't always need to think that your play is the 100% most right play. Even if something's a little bit risky, it's good to take risks in solo queue. And yes, I understand that they are very, very far ahead, so risk taking is not as big of a deal. But right there, maybe Talon would have died if he didn't follow the Talon. So skipping ahead one more time, they're going to go ahead and push down this bottom wave. The enemy team is just too far behind; they can't clear it. And then here's a pretty good play. They're pushing in, gets the stun onto the Malphite, and then it's able to actually save the Talon. They're able to make it out. I think the Gnar dies though, unfortunately. Yeah, the Gnar does die, but the Talon makes it out with the Sona, so that's good. And they get the inhib for it, for basically just basically 2 deaths for an inhib, which is worth it. And then Warwick chases way too far. Warwick overextends. Asian Pikachu does a good job of using the Frost Queen active to slow him down, and then he just hops on him right there because they're just so far ahead. So yeah, in games like this, it's not too hard to keep your lead as long as you're smart about it and you don't overextend. They go for the smart play, they go for the inhib, and then try to back off. What gets you caught is when you try and grab too much, like if they went for a Nexus turret there. Here is, I think, the final push. Yeah, here's the final push. They get the kill on the Warwick. And Nocturne's pretty fed right now, too. Nice ult on the Bard. Good job, my friend. And they're just going to push down and win the game. So, like I said, you need to check out his YouTube video, or his YouTube channel, because he makes really good content. And he actually has a video that has 5 million views, which is pretty cool. And yeah, he's a good Sona player. Give him a lot of credit. And if you have any questions, I'm sure you can just ask him on YouTube or message him, and just say if you have any questions on how to play Sona, because I am not the expert, he is. Thank you very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys soon. Thanks.